Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about something that I actually didn't expect to ever be talking about, and that is how much money I make with my side hustles. So just to get into a bit of background, the only reason why I'm sharing about this is because once upon a time I made $0, okay? And I was so heartbroken about not being able to make money. I mean, sometimes when you think about it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a graduate and all these other things, I don't have a job. And, sometimes I think it's so much easier for Americans to get jobs than it is for any other country. And I just want to just share a little bit about my journey, about how I started being a freelancer, because there's actually another video that I want to do about how much all my income streams make together. But I thought it would be cool to start off with how much my side hustles are making, so that you can understand that you can easily make 1,000 rand, you can easily make 2,000 rand, you can easily make up to 5,000 rand with a side hustle alone. So this is not like an 8-hour job that you need to work, or this is not like something that needs a ton of your attention. This is something that has a low cost of entry, and it is something that doesn't require money upfront for you to start, especially if you have an internet connection, which most people have, or you have means to buy data. So yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So my very first side hustle was definitely tutoring. So the tutoring space is kind of weird right now. There's a lot of companies that are registered, like tutoring companies, and they do a lot of like hiring of people who are based at home and have an internet access. And so what you would typically do is that you would join this company and then start making money in that way. That is also a cool way of making money. Yet when I started, I didn't know that a lot of them existed. So it was kind of like, I only knew about one, and then it just kind of looked very difficult to get in. So when I started as a tutor, I believe I was tutoring two students. Well, before I started tutoring those two students, remember that I was a teacher. So right after I stopped working at the school due to funding, blah, 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 I did continue as a tutor, but I was not making enough to survive off of. But it was enough for me to remain busy and not really notice all the lack of things I had. So I would say when it officially started being a side hustle, it was when I was tutoring these two sisters, and I realized that I could charge what I was worth, which is why I actually went through a whole process of restructuring my prices, because based on the prices that I had, I wasn't making enough to survive. So I went through that whole entire process, and then I started doing a bit of marketing and just basically putting myself out there. And then I was able to start making a consistent 3,000 rand a month, which is why every time someone asks me about when can they start in terms of building a side hustle, my number one thing is teaching. Because if you're an adult, that means that you've passed certain subjects in your life, and if you look at all the subjects that you've done, there's probably one that you really, really enjoyed. So, and being a tutor is not about being a teacher, it's about helping the student with where they lack and not necessarily instructing them. Do you get what I mean? And there's many ways to be a tutor. You don't have to be someone who actually teaches a subject. You can be like what the OP is. You can do something in that realm as well. So that's where I started with my side hustle. The second side hustle, I'm going to talk about all of it now, but the second side hustle is definitely Fiverr. So if you didn't know, I actually sell services on Fiverr, and I actually started a long time ago, failed, and then went back in. And yeah, this past month, or actually 2 days ago, I made 10,000 rand, and I'm so glad that I kept going, because I really felt defeated the first time when it didn't work out. So yeah, that was a that was a whole story. And then my third side hustle is something that I started recently, and that's being a reseller for Yoko. So if you guys didn't know, Yoko is a company that basically is like a payment processing company, but they also sell their own card machines, and they are also like a payment processor for even like e-commerce shops and all of those things. So I started as a reseller with them, I would say maybe 3 months ago, because I think my first payment was 3 months ago. And I my first month, I think I earned like 200 rand. So it's not something that I 1000% focus on. But now, only now it's starting to pick up. So I made 200 rand. Then the next month I made 800 rand. The month after that I made 1,300 rand. And I think right now I'm on track to meet my goal of 2,000 rand. So I think by the end of the year I would have definitely made 10k from yoga as well. But it's really, yeah, it's like a side hustle that you have to manage really well because you are dealing with a lot of people, a lot of queries. That's the part of it that I don't really enjoy. I just wish that it was just like the sign up process um, and letting that be that. But recently it has started being really difficult, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it long term. However, I did hear of people who make more than 10,000 rand a month just in commission. Like, it's ridiculous. But I also do realize that these are people who have sales experience, and that's what makes my earnings from Yoko so like ultra sweet, because I was terrified of sales. I'm terrified talking to people and selling them something. So you can imagine, like, the first time I spoke to someone, my heart died. Like, my heart died. Like, I felt sick. And thanks to just continuing to keep on, I actually employ one person who helps me do all the follow ups, because that's the part of it that I also don't enjoy. And so, yeah. And then I would say my fourth side hustle is definitely writing. I mean, I do write on Fiverr, which is why I consider this a side hustle as well. But I used to be a blogger before, but now I feel like all my experience as a blogger before that I didn't get to monetize is actually getting monetized now through Fiverr and all the writing gigs that I offer. And so, yeah, it's been like such a sweet realization. Do you get what I mean? So that's also a way that I make money. Right now, I don't make that much from writing, but I've definitely started thinking seriously about marketing myself as a writer in order to get more gigs. Another thing that I do want to mention is that in the past month that we just passed now, meaning end of May, my side hustles have together made 6,000 rand actually. So yeah, so the total of my side hustles at the end of May was 6,000 rand. I mean, who would have known? Who would have known? Who would have known when I started that that would be the case? It's ridiculous to me. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's just ridiculous. So I'm just flabbergasted, to be honest, because 6,000 rand might not seem like much to other people, but it's a big deal to me, because there was a time when I was making $0, working my butt off, but not getting that traction in terms of getting people to trust me and give me their business and all of these other things, you know? How do you get started as a freelancer, and how do you start making money? In the three options that I've mentioned, like I said, if you want to be a tutor, you just have to tell people that you tutor. People don't want to tell other people. And you'll find that in your circle, there are parents, or if they are not parents, there are people who have siblings who have kids. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, I think because I started telling more people, people started recommending me. They trust me. They, or they would vouch for me that I am a good, like, or at least a disciplined person, in order for them to hand over their kids to me, I would say. Another method that I also tried was a platform called OLX that has now closed. That's also where I got some of my clients. That was really helpful back then when you were still operational. And then how did I get started on Fiverr? Fiverr, I saw this video on CNBC with this girl who was making a killing on Fiverr. And after watching that video, I knew that I wanted to try again. So I did, and I loaded more gigs this time around. And yeah, the rest is history. Now we're here 10,000 Rand later. And then with Yoko, I guess they targeted me because I saw a Facebook ad that said, do you want to be a reseller? And I know what a reseller is. I mean, lots of companies have reselling opportunities that people don't know about. I mean, there's so many affiliate opportunities that are just out there that people don't know about. People think that brands need to reach out to you, but technically you can reach out to a brand to be affiliated with them or make money for them on their behalf, or what, whichever way you choose to see it. So yeah, so I guess from the ad I was like, this is interesting. Clicked on the ad, they explained everything really nicely, and then they had the training. So I attended the training, which was at first very overwhelming. But after talking to the first person, like I said, I had to hype myself up because I don't talk to people just like offhandedly. Is that a word? If it's not a word, let's make it a word. Okay. So I just don't generally talk to people, be like, hey, my name is this, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't do that. So, but I knew that I wanted to learn how to sell. And I knew that nobody was going to fly out of the air and teach me how to sell. Like, it just doesn't happen. So that's how I try to thrust myself into selling. And let me tell you, like, apart from the money that I've made, that experience alone has been the most invaluable experience. I mean, you cannot learn these things any other way. You need to talk to people, hear what they're struggling with, what's difficult about running a business and all of that. And I feel like through doing that, I've completely changed my life. And I'm so happy, and I'm so glad that I took that chance, you know? So yeah, that's how you get started. And I think anyone can do this. You don't need any type of experience. You just need to get started and to watch as many tutorials as you can. I mean, just Google how to do this. You know, you can go from there and ask questions. And you might not even get the answers of the questions you're looking for, but you keep asking, you know. Even now, I'm trying to get back onto Upwork. I'm also trying to get my start on the platform called Nomad Now. It looks really tricky to get in, but I'm really trying. And I recently started on Happy Scribe, which is a transcription service. So I'm really trying to just get myself out there and just do as much as I can, build experience, so that I can start ticking off things that are not for me and only stick with the things that I'm happy with. And I'm so far I'm happy on Fiverr. I'm happy being a tutor. Even with tutoring, I'm on a platform called Teacher. I believe it's South African. And through everything that I'm using to teach my kids, I've also been in the background putting all those resources together, because at the end, I want to sell them as digital products. So that's one way that I'm also trying to go passive as much as I can, so that if I want to take a break and I want to take a week off, I can do so. So yeah, that's where we're at. I feel like I'm gonna stop the video here because I'm just gonna tell you guys many stories about things that are, you know, up ahead for me. But for now, those 3 platforms are my highest recommendations because they've been working for me, especially in the last 6 months. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Any other information will be in the description box. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you're informed every time I upload. I'm going to be uploading every single Monday from now on. And yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed these videos and what other detail I need to go into in order for you guys to feel inspired enough to get started. I'm so ready to help this year, so let me know how I can do that. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.